Before we can use AWS CDK v2 to create AWS services, there are certain prerequisites which we need to complete. The first thing is you need to sign up for an AWS account if you don't already have one. AWS allows you to create an account for free, and most of the services that we're going to use during this course, you should not get charged as long as you destroy the stack after you create it. So let's quickly take a look on how you can sign up for a new AWS account. So I'm on Google and I will just search for AWS free account, and it will just take me to this page. So I can just open this page. So for now, I'll just create a free tier account. I already have an account, so that's why I open it in an incognito window. Okay, so it will take you to this page, and here you can provide your root user email address, AWS account name, and then you can just follow along these steps. It will ask for your credit card and phone number. So once you provide that, you should be able to access the AWS account. So once you have the AWS account, the next thing you need to do is you need to download the Visual Studio Code Editor. You can use some others as well, but AWS recommends to use Visual Studio Code Editor. And you can just go to this link. So I already have this link open, and it will take you to this page. So from here, you can download whether you're on Mac OS, Windows, or Linux. Okay. So once you have that Visual Studio Code Editor, this is what it's going to look like. Once you have the Visual Studio Code Editor, next you need to install the AWS CLI. So you can go to this link and then just download the AWS CLI. So this is what it's going to look like. I've just already opened this link. So here it will take you to this page, the link that I've highlighted in the slides. And then based on whichever OS you're using, so for Windows, you can go here and then just download the AWS CLI. Once you've downloaded, you can just validate it by go to start and say CMD. And once you have this, you can say AWS version, and it will give you a version number. So here in this case, you can see AWS CLI 1.27.40. So it's a much higher version now. I have downloaded a while back. You can validate whether you have the CLI or not. If you're not getting this version, then you need to reinstall. And this is what I have shown here as well. Go to start and then type CMD and then run this command, AWS version. Now, once you have done that, there is something important you need to do is you need to install the AWS CDK toolkit for VS Code. And how you can do that is through this link. So I'll just show you. Okay, this is the page which talks about AWS toolkit installation for Visual Studio. So once you have downloaded the Visual Studio and you have opened it, then what you need to do is you need to go to this page. You need to go to extensions, manage extensions, and then you need to search for AWS and then download AWS toolkit for Visual Studio 2022. So now once you have downloaded the Visual Studio, this is what it's going to look like. Now you have to install the AWS CDK toolkit. So what you will do is you go to extensions here. You can see here extensions, just click on this and then search for AWS, and then it will show you this AWS toolkit, and you can just go ahead and install this. So I've already installed it, otherwise it will show you an install option. So once you have installed that, then you can just go to terminal here, new terminal, and in the terminal below, okay, before I do that, let me just get rid of this, and you can see from here you can go and open the new terminal, and then in the terminal what you can do is you can run this command, npm install -g AWS CDK. So you'll say npm install -g as in global AWS CDK. So it will do some installation. Okay, so it has done some changes. It might have already been installed in, as in my case. The next thing you can do is you can go ahead and check the version. So if it is installed correctly, then type CDK version and it will give you a version. Let me see CDK version. So you can see it has given me a version 2.62.2, and as long as it's about 2.5, I think it should be good. So sometimes it might give an error in terms of the execution policy. If it does give an error, then you can just run this command. So once you've done all this, you need to install the Node.js, because we are going to use TypeScript, so we have to install Node.js. If you have any other programming language, then you can go to this, say you are writing the code in Java or Python, then you need to go ahead and download the executables from this link. I will show you that. But before that, let's go ahead and install the Node.js because we are going to use the TypeScript. So I will go to this link. I've already opened this link. So if you go to this link that I have given in the PowerPoint, and you can just download it from here. So this is for Windows. So for your operating system, you need to download whichever is the relevant one. So once you have downloaded, next thing you need to check is the node version, and it should be greater than version 10.3. So let me go to Visual Studio and let me do a clear, and let me say node dash version, and you can see it's version 18. We are about 10, so that's good. Then for other programming language, you need to go to this link. So you can see here I've given this link. So here you can see all the other programming languages that you can go to and download the executables for that particular programming language. So it's here, the link is given here. So the last thing you need to do is you need to create an AWS account user and then configure those credentials to access AWS services from your Visual Studio. So you can go to this link and it describes the process, but I will also show you how to do that. So you need to create an IAM user through the AWS console. Then you need to configure the credentials as shown here. And then finally you can test using AWS S3 LS, and it should list out all the S3 buckets. So I will just show you the link first. You can see the link here. So this shows how to establish credentials for AWS toolkit for your Visual Studio code editor. So you can go to this link and obtaining AWS access key, and then it shows the process to do that here. So let me also show you through the console. Now let me show you how to create an IAM user so that you can access AWS services from the Visual Studio code editor. So I am on my AWS account, so I can just search for IAM. Now I am on the IAM service. So I'll just click on user, and next I'm going to do an add user, and let's say demo user or whatever your name you want to give it. So I'll click next. And then you can either add it to a group. So for that, you'll have to create a group. You can also create from here, but I will just attach the policies directly. And then let me give it an admin access so that it can access any AWS service. So you can just search for admin and give it admin access. And then next, review and create user. So now our demo user has been created. You can see here, and it has admin access. Now next, what I will do is I'll go to the security credentials and just scroll down and look at this access keys. So create access keys. It's a new interface where they give you some options. So you can just say command line interface, and I understand. Next, okay, I can leave this blank, create access keys. So it will create the access key and secret key for you. So you can see the access key here, and the secret key, it's secret key. It is protected. So I'll just show. So this is my secret key. So next, what I will do is I will go to my Visual Studio code editor, and I will say AWS configure. Okay, now it will ask for your AWS access key ID. Since I already have a user, so it is already showing me the existing user. But if you are a new one, so what you'll need to do is you'll need to give this access. So you just copy it from here and then just paste it here. And then once you do enter, then again it will ask you for your secret access key. So you can again go here and copy this and then just paste it here, and then it will ask you for default region. So you can give whichever is your default region, otherwise it will take US East 1, and then it will say default output format. You can put JSON or you can put none. So I've just not given any value, and then once I do enter, you can see that now it has configured this user. Okay, that's how you can configure the AWS account user to be able to access AWS services from the Visual Studio code editor. And I will just also give a screenshot. And optionally, if you want to test, you can also test using AWS S3 LS. With these configuration changes, you should be all set to start working on AWS CDK V2 and create services using the Visual Studio code editor. Thank you. In this lecture, we're going to discuss the evolution of AWS infrastructure as code